And good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. Welcome once more to FPL Don't Panic, where the situation just keeps getting worse. What are we going to do in this one? We're going to do almost, but not quite, a team lock-in. Decisions have to be made with the deadline 1 day and 10 hours away. But as it is in New Zealand, I'll go to bed. So in 10 hours. Have to make some decisions. Think I have, unless the situation escalates even further. So yeah, we're going to do almost but not quite a team lock-in, and then the proverbial Bishop Brennan Cup in a very, very low scoring game week. But there are also some success stories, and I'm actually one of them, weirdly. Okay, right, I'm going to do this one. I don't often do all my shit live because it can get messy. I'm hoping, as I move away from being able to see what you're seeing, that all of this will be visible. I'm not going to really go through the spreadsheet. There is not a lot of points not a lot of points. I hope there's some points, and not a lot of point going through the spreadsheet. It is there for you guys to have a look at. But fundamentally, what you see on the screen there is, we'll call it the bus team. We'll call it the bus team. If all 11 of those players make it out on the pitch, I would be very, 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 very happy indeed. Are all 11 of those players going to make it out on the pitch? I doubt it very, very much. Very, very, very much. Who's safe? Verbruggen, Tarkowski, Gabriel, Chow. Some doubts around Matheus Nunes. Obviously going to listen to the pressers, get any sort of a clue, any sort of inkling if we get some pre-deadline leaks or anything. I'm going to have to be really, really tuned into that. Fingers crossed he's okay. Bruno G, the latest addition to the Des's hospital cart. That was, I know it sounds weird. I spoke in the last video about potentially doing a really potentially high risk strategy of actually taking 3 hits, doing 4 transfers, moving out Palmer, freeing up a load of money, and strengthening all 3 positions on the bench that are, as you'd see it at the moment, bringing up John to a Sanchez, Barnes to an OB, Barnes to a maybe a Solanke, or something like that, and OB to maybe a Krupi Jr., Mamane, something like that, and bench boosting in the hope that the bench boost will pay for the hits, and then I've actually solved a problem there, etc., etc. Problem now I have is that with Bruno G as a potential injury as well, still doubts around Palmer, etc. But Bruno G was the one that thought, you know, I can't do that because I may actually end up using it, doing all those transfers, using the bench boost, and actually have no one playing. So I have, as crazy an idea as that was, and it may or may not have worked, it was a big punty thing, the Bruno G possibly, probably not playing scuppers that idea. So Bruno G is obviously a risk, high risk I would say. Rice should be fine. Foden, flip a coin, will he play or won't he? Don't know. Saka, I think will play. I think he's going to be okay. I won't be shocked if he's benched. Certainly won't be shocked if he's subbed at 60, but 60 may be enough. 60 may be enough. I mean, I hope he doesn't get anything. You know, I mean, it was one of those fucking situations FPL puts you in. I've got 3 Arsenal players going up against my own team. So it's going to be a situation of, hey, United got a result at Arsenal, hey, but my FPL team is shit, and I'll be jumping up and down for joy, and then having to do and reviewing the points, going, oh, fuck's sake, how am I going to dig myself out of this shite? That's what FPL does to you. Yeah, Saka, Palmer, who knows? Honestly don't know. Could go incredibly well for me, could go awfully badly. Palmer, yeah, don't know. And Haaland, it's not going to surprise me if he doesn't play. The only consolation I'm taking from this, as I look around, and hearing some of the other content providers, poor old FPL Pricey's even in worse fucking shit than I am. Exactly the same dilemmas. And so really all I've got is order ET cover on the bench. So the reality is I'm going to be playing with something between 8 and 11 players this week is my guess. And what I've decided to do, I think, I've still got one that I'm slightly juggling with. Croupy Junior is on my watch list for when I was going to eventually start strengthening the bench, which would have been something like a Croupy Junior, a stronger, I'm going to say Solanke, but you know, something, it could be a I don't know, you know, any of the strikers in around that sort of, you know, 5.5, the Sunderland lad, Brobby, something like that, you know, just to get those two striking positions filled up with actual playing players that on the right fixture maybe could bench boost at a future date, undefined date. So in effect, at the moment, I've only got Aldrich on the bench. So one strategy I could actually think, okay, well, why don't I bring in Croupy Junior now? And I'm strongly thinking about that, just to strengthen it. So I have got a little bit of cover. I've actually got 2 bits of cover on the bench if 2 people don't play. The problem is that limits then where I want to be for game week 24, which in effect is, you know, turn Palmer into Enzo and turn Foden into Bruno Fernandes, because I'd only have 2 transfers. So at the moment, and these are words you will not often hear coming out of my mouth, and you guys that have been following me certainly for the last year and a half know these are words I very, very rarely say. I think I'm rolling. I think I'm going to roll. I'm just going to take the punt. You know that that Nunes. I think based on that City defence, I think even if they've got to roll him out in a wheelchair, they'll start him. I really do. And it was an illness, so you'd have to think he's had a reasonable amount of time now for recovery. Fingers crossed. Bruno G rolled his ankle. Now, when I was about Bruno G's age, I rolled my ankle playing football, and I could not walk the next day. I phoned my boss in London. I was working in Manchester. I phoned my boss in London. I says, I seriously cannot walk. I've gone over badly on my ankle. I am absolutely rooted. The following day, it was right as rain. I went to the office. My actual boss drove up from London the following day. He said, ankle looks all right, Des. I know. Just, you know, a rolled ankle at that age can heal reasonably well. Can heal very, very quickly. That's my experience. There's no guarantees, as provided it is actually just a rolled ankle. We'll see. I'm really trying to delve into the side of optimism here based on my own history. Please be okay, Bruno G. Could transfer you out, I suppose, and do the Enzo move early and make you... I want more information before I do something like that. The plan was Palmer out, Enzo in, Foden to Bruno Fernandes, chunk of money in the bank, start strengthening the bench, and start to roll a few transfers. That was the plan. Why do I bother making plans in this game? I have no idea. Absolutely ludicrous. So I think that is what I'm going to do, guys. I think listen to the pressers. I think there should be, some of them may have already been done. I need to catch up on those, see if anything else has happened, and listen to the deadline streams in case there are any leaks, particularly in relation to City, I guess. And I don't think we'll get one on Newcastle. I think when's their fixture? What's the order of play? Yeah, City have got that 4 o'clock kick-off. West Ham, Sunderland early kick-off. No, we won't get anything on Newcastle because they're on Monday. That's it. What do you think? I think I have to roll. I think I just have to swallow hard, keep my fingers crossed, and go and visit the Basilica at Lourdes. Need a little miracle this week. I think I do. Especially after having, you know, a really good solid 200 green last week. I would really love to have followed it up with just a nice little stabilizer green, just to keep ticking in the right direction. But I don't know. Now, that's the team. I'm going to roll. I'm going to roll. The next big question, the next huge question. captaincy. I know. See, Haaland is a risk as well. I would not surprise me if he's given a rest. Is Marmoush back? I think he is. He's not been pulling up many trees when he was playing last either, though, was he? None of the City players are. Foden's a risk. Haaland's a risk. I think Marmoush has got as much chance of playing as either of them. But let's talk about this bloody captaincy. Really, the reality is City are looking poor. Haaland is looking particularly poor. What is he? I know we talk about his only one return in the last 5 or 6, and then he had a couple of returns before that, but that was a row of blanks before that as well. The reality is he's only returned in about 3 of the last 9, and I know, because I did the City triple up, that there were great fixtures in there that we were all targeting. City have been atrocious in their returns on their players. You know, when Foden's returns dried up 6 or 7 game weeks ago, you know, that was the end of it. You know, Haaland had a few returns, but really, I think it's about 3 or 4 returns. Fuck it, let's have a look. Hopefully this is showing up for you guys. Right, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2. Jesus, Mary and Joseph. 16, 13, very nice. 2, 14, 2, 2, 4. All right. So it goes back to about game week 11. Few blanks, must have been an assist there or something, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 1, 2, 3. 3 games where you'd say there was acceptable returns from your captain in the last 9. And looking at some of those fixtures, Sunderland home, 2 points. What's his pattern? Liverpool home, just 4 points. Bournemouth home, okay. Alright, okay. West Ham home, 14. I don't know, it'd be fucking scary, wouldn't it? But these last few. Brighton home, but that was a penalty. Don't think he even got any bonus in that, did he? Man United away 2, Chelsea home 2. I'm trying to find a pattern here. Do you back him on the easy fixture? Is Wolves an easy fixture? I don't bloody know. What I do know, and I can say with a degree of certainty, is if you'd had a perma captain on a Rice, or even a Chow, but maybe even a Tarkowski. Who else there? Bruno G. If it had a permanent, and obviously we can't tell the future or when someone's going to throw 5 or 6 blanks in a row, but all of those players would have scored you significantly more points. Now I'm putting a perma captain on a Bruno G, or a Chow, or a Tarkowski. No. But I look at those Rice fixtures there coming up. United home, Leeds away, Sunderland home, Tottenham away, Chelsea home, Bristol, on an average of 7, and that average of 7 is based off of 5 game weeks, whereas actually he's only actually played 4 in that time, so that average probably should be more like an 8 or a 9 maybe. Rice, pathways to points, you know, consistently showing it across the season. You know, we know there's a potential for a clean sheet point there. We know he's got the potential for DEFCON. We know, you know, he's on corners and set pieces and some free kicks. We know he crashes the box. If he was doing an average of 8 or 9 points across that next run of fixtures, totally acceptable given, you know, a lot of those fixtures for City are not that great anyways. And Haaland is not looking good, and he's knackered, and he is now a minute's risk. Gabriel, 7.8 average. Clean sheets, potential for goals. DEFCON. It's fucking tempting. It really, really is tempting. Because I tell you what, what am I going to kick myself more over? If I follow this little instinct, say, right, just, and even if it doesn't go perfectly well this week, say Haaland does get a goal, an assist, or a brace, how much am I actually going to lose? Gabriel, I think there's a decent chance of a clean sheet, a bit of DEFCON, etc. It's only going to be a matter of a few points. But once you're on that path, just go with it. That's the strategy. Just go for it. And it could pay off massive dividends, or it could obviously go badly wrong. But it is just really hard to see Haaland getting his one or two goal hauls, goal and assist. You know, he needs needs 2 returns every game over the next 6 or 7 to match the sort of averages and the returns to beat the returns that we know Gabriel and Rice are putting up consistently. It's a big decision. Haven't made it yet, but I have made the decision. I'm going to roll unless there's more bad news. That decision is made. Captaincy decision is, I think it's going to be right on deadline. Anyway, enough of my waffle. Let's have a little look at the Bishop Brennan Cup. Let's make sure. I'm hoping all that shit I'm talking about you guys can see. Okay, still looking okay on the screen there at the moment. Right, let's go and have a look at the Bishop Brennan Cup. I haven't fully looked at this. I've had a quick scan. I think I know who the winner is. These and cups are going to come up all right. There we go. Finally, we see a little sea of green for Desi. Hopefully that will continue this week, but I have my doubts. I'm just going to have to take this one on the chin. FPL Don't Panic Challenge. Right, let's kick off with the usual top 3 review. Joseph Robinson into... I'm going to have to make that a little bit bigger. I'm half blind. Okay, hopefully you guys can still see that. Sorry guys, I'm messing around with screens here. Let's move that over there, maybe a little bit smaller. We'll dump my roller coaster and we'll dump that as well. There we go. Let's make it nice and clear so we can see the glory boys. Right, let's have a little look at the 3, 2, 1, and then we'll see if we can hunt down our winner this week. Right, my opinion, anything over a sort of 45 pointer is a good score this week. That was another, once again, we had about 5 or 6 ridiculously low scoring game weeks in a row. Why the average is so low this year? So any number of reasons. Check out FPL Trigger. I think it was his last video. He did a little interesting piece, and if anyone's interested to have a look at, the guy does love a good whinge, but he comes out with some great content as well. And he did actually do a little bit of a look at underperforming strikers, and that's one of the big reasons, of course. And obviously DEFCON plays a part, but it was quite an interesting little run through he gave it with some good thoughts. But yeah, another incredibly low scoring game week. Where are the 60s, the 70s, the 80s gone? Dim and distant memory. Right, Tempestuous Sea, Joseph, well done buddy. 3rd place. Let's have a quick look, see what you did. Alright, you're on 352, 48 points, just the 1 transfer. Double Arsenal defender there. Hard to say which way that's going to go. I've obviously set my path with the double attack. Would I change it? No, don't think I would, providing Saka's getting the minutes. I do think Saka will outscore a Timber or a Raya, not necessarily a Gabriel, if he is getting his 60 plus minutes. And I guess that is the big question. That is the big question, because he's had 2 rotations and just played 30 minutes in the last 5 game weeks, which has pushed his average, his normally reliable 6 or 7 point average, down to about a 4.5. So I need to see that going back up to the 6 or 7, because I know 6 or 7 sounds low for a 10.5 million players, but seriously, again, given the low scores, wouldn't you bite your hand off, or bite their hand off for someone that's given you a consistent 6 or 7 points? But I do believe I see a hole in Saka's locker. Am I averse to the double Arsenal defence? Absolutely not. It scares the shite out of me, and just that 5-pointer from Timber probably cost me about 20-30,000 places this week, because obviously with that, unless Gabriel gets the attacking return, the double Arsenal defence, and unless my own defence gets a blanket of clean sheets, a double Arsenal defence is always going to pretty much hurt your rank a little bit. Not as highly owned as a lot of people might think though, but it still is a rank damager. What else you got there? Yeah, you got Rice, the ever reliable Rice. Rogers, I still think Rogers is a good pick personally. Maybe I do need to look at Villa at some point. Wirtz is starting to interest me, I have to say. He is looking good. I thought he looked good in that Champions League match for Liverpool. Was it 3-0, 3-1, 3-0? Can't remember. But he's actually looking pretty good. I think he got a goal. He's starting to show a bit of the form as to why a lot of us had him in our teams at the beginning of the season, but it just wasn't coming right. Here's another question for everyone: If Haaland continues to blank, will there be a move back to Salah? I've actually worked out a way where I could have Haaland and Salah without doing too much damage to my team, because most of my players in midfield are highly expensive. That would be an interesting punt. There wouldn't be too many going Haaland Salah at the moment, and Liverpool certainly looked better in that game, I thought, in that Euro match. Anyway, back to Wirtz. He's looking better. He's looking a lot better. Foden, you're the same as me. You've got a few of the same issues as me, haven't you? Foden, Bruno G, Haaland, but you have something I don't have. You've got a bench, mate. You've got a fucking bench. Maybe not so much. No, you've only got one option off the bench as well. But hey, can't argue with 10,596 in the world. Keep it going, mate. Keep it going. Love it. And 48 actually for that game week, pretty solid. Pretty damn solid. All right. Richard holding steady at 2. It's a tight fight here it's a tight fight up the top here, isn't it? Richard, did you do anything? Yeah, just the one transfer. Also on the 352. Anything interesting in there? Yeah, you've got Bruno in early. Oh, great call, mate. Really good call. Wait, United fella. Just a tough game. There's just so few returns, isn't there? Van Heck, yeah, nice one. Van Heck, Gabriel, obviously on the double Arsenal attack with Saka and Rice. Wilson. What are Fulham's fixtures like? Again, Wilson is someone that does interest me, but I think that ship may have sailed for me, anyways. Calvert-Lewin could certainly be someone I think about to strengthen that second play if I was to do a transfer this week. I think Leeds have got a pretty good fixture as well. If I was to do a bench strengthening transfer, I could do Calvert-Lewin, and it still leaves me enough money to turn Foden into Bruno Fernandes. Wouldn't be the stupidest thing to do with it, but I don't know. I'll just wait for the pressers and the deadline streams. I think the 2 transfers next week is what I need to really do what I want to do, and just have to take the punt this week that I do manage to get 10 or 11 players out on the pitch. Overall, team's good, mate. That team, in theory, could bang 80 points for you this week, but I bet we're going to end up with another 50 point, been a good score week. But mate, look at where you are, 8,361 in the world. Loving it, mate. Keep it going. Right, our number 1. The boy is on a roll. The boy is absolutely on a roll. I've had a few chats with Dean. He's going so well. Now, obviously, I like his team. He was brave enough to go where I wasn't brave enough to go about 10 or 11 game weeks ago. I talked about it and I didn't have the balls to do it. And I wish I had, but Dean did. It's the 4-5-1, guys. I mean, since I've moved to it as well, although it's been unspectacular even through these low game weeks, I'm on 3 green arrows out of 4 in a time where it's really hard to find points. You just need 1 or 2 of those defenders or 1 or 2 of those midfielders to come in good for you, which is where the points seem to be, and you're sitting pretty. And he has now, at one point this week, Dean was actually at about 2.5 million or 3 million, I think. Just dropped back a bit on the what was the last game week? Yeah, Brighton versus Bournemouth. Didn't have any involvement in that, but in the top 5,000, you can't argue with it, can you? Who would I be worried about on that team? I generally say Crystal Palace, but Palace are actually coming into a decent fixture run now. Love the Ballard pick. Another DEFCON monster, and he is capable of getting a few attacking returns. Love the Sunderland defence in general. Gabriel, yeah, on the double. Saka. No Rice. No, it's just a double Arsenal. Am I going blind? No, you're looking at bringing in Rice, Dean, or someone? Can't argue with it though, mate. It's all working. Bruno, got Bruno in early. Wish I had done it. Thought about it. Shoulda, woulda, coulda. Didn't. Was waiting for game week 24. Jobbersley. Of course, he got his bloody goal in Europe, didn't he? Misses his penalty for you last week. That would have been a big one for you, mate. If that had gone in, where would you have been now? Another few thousand up the ladder. Are you going to hang on to him? I don't know. I'd be tempted by Gapco if I was going to do anything with Liverpool. Gapco or Verts? You got Verts. Something to think about. But yeah, I think the thing, as I say, I think the thing is with Dean is just that consistency. You know, not going overboard with the transfers. Obviously built up a few transfers there, but what I would say, and I do say this with anyone that's going well. Anyone that's going well, you look at the number 1 teams in the world, and I do love a good hit myself, but how many hits you taken this year, Dean? I bet I can guess the answer as none. Yeah, there it is, none. No hits, guys. Play through your troubles. Scary as it is. Dean, well done. Currently sitting at number 1. Keep it going, buddy. Win the fucking thing for us, mate. Win the thing. Right, let's do the Bishop Brennan Cup. Right, there ain't a lot of big scores here, guys. Any special mentions? A few 55s there. John, 55. Sam, that's a solid 56, buddy. 52 there. Andrew. It's just such, I mean, it's a sea of sadness, isn't it? It really, really is a sea of sadness. 33, 43, 43, 46, 38. There you go. Van with a 50. 50 is a good score this week. 50 is actually a solid score this week. As I say, I got 49. And it was 190k rank rise. 45s, 36s, 36s, 59. That's a good score, Craig. Yeah, good green arrow. You've had a fantastic green arrow this week. On the rise, mate. 39s, 45s. Clinging in there, in with me 49. Let's say that 49 was in the, only gave me a couple of places rise in our own league, but yeah, it was saying nearly 200,000. The thing, I'm just going to have a little look here. We just see the usual suspects there coming in onto page 1 for the first time this season. For the first time this season, I think we're going to find, I'm going to have a little look at yours, the usual suspects. A good score anyways, so I'll give you a little moment of glory here, the usual suspects. I think we're going to find, yeah, there we go. All of page 1 in the top 1 million. Long may that continue, but I do know there's a couple on page 2 are looking to come in from the dark side and make it to page 1. Indeed, I think we're going to find our Bishop Brennan Cup winner is on page 2. And there's a few absolutely knocking on the door. But all 50 on page 1. It's a good league, guys. It's a very, very competitive league with some really, really good players. I'm very, very proud. I'm like a proud father. But if we go, yeah, so well done, Craig. You've made it to page, you've made it to the light. You've made it into the light of page 1. Right, let's see who's knocking on the door. Right, Josh, nearly there, buddy. Adrian, James, there you go. Heather, you've been chugging along nicely recently. Some good scores there, but you're suffering a few of the similar issues to me this week. But let's get straight to our Bishop Brennan Cup winner. And we finally find a 70, a 72. He played his wild card. What have you done in there, Liam? I am having some wildcard regret that maybe I clearly went a little bit early because now I've got fucking so many problems. But oh, Frimpong, I was having a look at Frimpong in that European match. I wanted to go Frimpong right at the start of the season. He's starting to show his worth, isn't he? I know he didn't get anything this game week. Dorgu, did he come off the bench for you? How did you? Did you have Tavernier and you got your Dorgu points? Nice. Well, you Man United fan. Of course you had him first up. Nice, mate. Loving that. Loving the 15 off the bench. And it's a really good, it's an astute choice to hang on to Dorgu. New manager coming in, you know, even if he ends up playing in defence, it's just a good call. It's just a good call. And he looked very, very good, didn't he? This is a great score, buddy. Frimpong. Cash. I don't think Cash is a bad pick at all. I need to think about a Villa. You got triple Villa. You got Watkins. Very interesting. I like Watkins. I like a second half of the season Watkins. Rice, Gabriel, Raya as your double Arsenal defence. Rice, Rogers, Wirtz, Bruno Fernandes. Yeah, early on the Bruno. Get your reward. Is he going to do something against Arsenal? I hope so. But I'm not going to go there yet. You know, I'm not going to go there yet. It's going to be a tough enough watch. And Watkins and Ekitike, who I still like. Do his minutes become a risk now? Are Liverpool going to start playing in a 4-4-2? And whose minutes are at risk? Ekitike or what's the name of the other lad out in the wing? The Dutch lad. Another Des brain fog. Good teammate, great wild card. Bench looks great, set up. That'll be a lovely little bench boost somewhere down the line, I would imagine. You probably already got that lined up. Liam, fantastic, mate. And it's 2190, but I tell you what, it's a solid wild card. And Tanya, it'll only take 1 or 2 good game weeks, and you'll be knocking on the top 1 million door. And as I say, if you're in that 1 million with 10 to go, that's my sort of benchmark. Ideally top 500k, but if you're in that top 1 million with 10 to go, you can still make that top 100k comfortably. Congratulations, Liam. Well done. You are this week's Bishop Brennan Cup winner. Unfortunately, Liam couldn't make it all the way to New Zealand to collect his trophy for the 10,876th week in a row. Hurrah for me! I am this week's winner. Only kidding. Liam, well done, buddy. Great wild card. On that note, guys, I'll leave it. Big long waffle. Let me just bring up so we can bring up Liam's team in all its glory there as I say bye bye to you lot. Yeah, what am I doing? Gonna do nothing, folks. Gonna do nothing. I'm just gonna wait until I've seen all the pressers, see if there's any team announcements, but if there is nothing else changes, I'm rolling, and it could be an utter shitstorm of a game week. I could end up with 7 or 8 players out on the pitch. But I know I'm not the only one in this position. So what I'm hoping is that a lot of other players are panicking and taking hits and doing things and all sorts of shite. And maybe, just maybe, I get 11 players out on the pitch, or even 10 I'd be happy with. And it's the captaincy. Gabriel, Rice, or Haaland. I think I'll ask Caroline. Take care, have fun, play your own game, don't panic. I'll see you soon. Bye bye.